Having a cold war with my childhood sweetheart for 3 days. I posted on my social media. I got married. From now on, I'm officially licensed. Everyone in the friend group is going crazy with congratulations, saying that our childhood sweethearts finally made it from school uniforms. At the moment when the atmosphere in the group was lively, I added the beautiful professor to the group. Don't get me wrong. This is my wife. The originally lively group instantly froze. When my childhood sweetheart saw me dining with the professor, she instantly became furious. Luo Yuding immediately ran up to question me. Lu Xian, what are you doing? I'm asking you, what exactly are you doing? Upon seeing this, Chu Wanner immediately pulled Luo Yuding away, blocking her in front of us. Standing in front of Sha Yushan at that moment, protecting her behind me. Looking angrily at Luo Yuding, I said, Luo Yuding, I no longer have anything to do with you. Get as far away as possible. Don't force me to take action. Hearing this, Luo Yuding looked at me in shock and asked, who is she? I wrapped my arms around Sha Yushan and said softly, she is my wife. Chu Wanner curled her lips slightly. Xian is quite clever. This statement hits Luo Yuding hard. Tonight, Luo Yuding won't be able to sleep. Luo Yuding shouted with her icy gaze. She is your wife. Then who am I? You tell me. Who am I? Her voice grew louder until she shouted herself hoarse. My hand gently caressed Sha Yushan's back. I was afraid she would be scared. Just as I was about to speak, Luo Yuding looked at her with a dark and sinister gaze. Who are you? What does that have to do with Xian? Sha Yushan stepped forward and coldly replied. Just as Xian said earlier, I am his wife. Chu Wanner looked completely shocked. Where did you hire this actor? So brave. I didn't care about Luo Yuding either. I just took Sha Yushan and left. I even turned around and gently asked her, does it hurt? Luo Yuding wanted to chase after us. Chu Wanner stopped him again. What are you going crazy for? They're just trying to provoke you on purpose. Luo Yuding laughed in anger. Alright. Really good. Chu Wanner looked at the silhouettes of me and Sha Yushan outside the window. For a moment, she looked back at Luo Yuding. Never mind. Look at them, then look at you. Although I didn't want to discuss Lu Xian with Luo Yuding, I couldn't help but say something more. Luo Yuding looked over with a questioning gaze. I had just raised my foot, ready to leave, but we had already gotten into the car and left. Luo Yuding sneered coldly. He truly understands me. He knows how to get me angry. Luo Yuding took a few deep breaths. Tell myself this is just fake. He's just angry with himself. Today, in the car, Sha Yushan got to see my ex. She truly has no manners. I also recalled how much it hurt when I got slapped back then. She glanced at me sideways, noticing that I was pondering something. At this moment, I spoke up. Isn't this a bit too little? How about we go to the mall again? Let's see if there's anything we need to buy. So we drove to the mall again. Arriving at the mall, I pushed the cart beside Sha Yushan. After a while, I finally spoke. If there's any danger next time, you must quickly hide behind me. If you get hurt, I would be very sad. Upon hearing this, Sha Yushan turned to look at me. She nodded and then smiled. Okay. We wandered around the mall. After shopping, we finally went to meet my parents-in-law. I smiled as I drove. My parents live quite far away. Sha Yushan nodded and said, they enjoy peace and quiet. They live here after retirement. The car comes to a stop. I look at the large Chinese-style mansion in front of me. I fell silent. I didn't expect it to be this big. It exceeded my expectations by a lot. After getting out of the car, I picked up the things I bought for my in-laws. Just as I was about to enter, the Su family parents came out. The steward followed behind. The steward immediately took the things from my hands. The Su family parents gave me a once-over. They had a hint of a smile on their faces. It was just right, neither too deep nor too shallow. Sha Yushan introduced me. These are my parents. I had already taken a look at them when they came out. Sha Yushan's beauty really comes from her parents. I called out twice. Mom, Dad. I didn't expect the Sha family parents to accept it directly. Not a single word of complaint. It was as if they were meant to accept this. Mom Sha smiled at me. You're Lu Xian, right? No need to stand at the door. Come in and sit down. Sha Yushan held my hand as we stepped through the door together. Sha Yushan said to her dad, who was walking ahead. Dad, don't be so serious. Sha Yushan was afraid of leaving me with a bad impression. Sha's dad was taken aback for a moment. However, Sha's mom smiled and said, Dad is usually like this. But it's surprising that you can actually say that. Such words are indeed quite rare. Sha's dad chuckled helplessly and said to me, your name is Lu Xian, right? I have no complaints. I'm usually like this. My nervousness eased a bit. I didn't expect Sha Yushan's parents to be so kind. I glanced at Sha Yushan. She gently scratched my palm twice. It felt tingly and numb. Such a large mansion. With so few people, it felt very spacious. After the butler served the tea, he left. Sha's mom was really curious. How did you get your marriage license so quickly? That day, Sha Yushan called them. The main point was about her getting a marriage certificate. Sha's mom asked which young man it was. Why have they never heard her mention it before? Sha Yushan replied that they hadn't known each other for long. Although they respected all of Sha Yushan's decisions, they felt this was a bit too fast. Marriage is a big deal, not a game. At this point, Sha Yushan spoke up and said, I proposed it. I want to live with her. The elder glanced at his own son. This positive demeanor really doesn't seem like her. Sha's mom then asked me, Xian, why did you agree to marry someone you've barely known for long? Many excuses flashed through my mind, but I ultimately decided to tell the truth. Yushan showed up downstairs at my house in the rain that morning. To be honest, I've never seen something like this. There's also a bit of impulsiveness involved. However, I don't regret it now. Shaw's mom and dad stared at Shaw Yushan, running to someone's place in the rain early in the morning. Downstairs, discussing whether to get married. They originally thought it was me proposing to Shaw Yushan. They didn't expect it to be their daughter who brought it up. Since Shaw Yushan wants to get married, then let her be. They've already gotten their license, so they can't rush things in terms of etiquette. At this moment, Shaw's dad asked, Shaw Yushan, have you visited your in-laws? Shaw Yushan nodded and said, yes. They've temporarily accepted me. Shaw's parents also understand. When will our in-laws be available? We haven't met face to face yet. Shaw Yushan said, I will arrange it. As soon as she finished speaking, the butler came in and said, it's time to eat. During dinner, Shaw's mom asked some general questions. Xian, what are you working on now? She had a smile on her face, as if we were just chatting casually. I quickly responded, after graduation, I opened a cafe. Until now, the business is doing well and the profits are good. Shaw's dad thought it sounded pretty good. What does the in-laws do? I then answered, Dad is a university professor. Mom is a chief physician. Shaw's dad smiled at Shaw Yushan. Then don't you match your father-in-law's taste? I thought to myself that it was also implicitly approved. My dad actually likes Shaw Yushan quite a bit. Shaw's parents only asked some basic family background questions, and then continued to talk. I just ate a bit more. Shaw Yushan kept putting food in my bowl. She told me to eat more. The meal was actually quite good. As expected, just as Shaw Yushan said, as long as it's something she likes, her parents will accept it. After dinner, my father-in-law saw us to the door. We had just left for a few minutes. A Maserati stopped in front of the courtyard gate. A young woman got out of the car. Dad Shaw picked up his chin. Just left. The girl chuckled softly. Just passed by them. Saw Shaw Yushan's car. My sister didn't mention me at all. Mom Shaw said with a smile. Even the maid at home gets a day off. You really stand out. How could she mention you? We got home. Along with Shaw Yushan. I went to take a shower first. Shaw Yushan replied. She went to the fridge to get some fruit, peeling, cutting into pieces, and plating. I had just finished tidying up the table when I came out of the shower. She placed the plate on the coffee table in the living room. I poured some water cheerfully. You should eat some. I watched her go to the bathroom, then turned my head to stare at the plate of fruit. I used a fork to pick up a piece of mango and put it in my mouth. The phone on the table flashed. I picked up the phone to take a look. A message from Zhang Yu. Are you off work? I replied. I'm already home. Zhang Yu set up a reply. Not 2 minutes later, the doorbell rang. The monitor displayed Zhang Yu and Chu Wanner. I immediately opened the door. I waved to the two of them. I stepped aside to let them in. Zhang Yu immediately spoke up. Is everything okay? I just heard from Chu Wanner that you ran into Luo Yuding today. So I came over to take a look. I waved my hand and said, it's nothing, really. It's actually quite good. We sat on the sofa. Chu Wanner laughed and said, that line you said today could drive Luo Yuding crazy. Luo Yuding's possessiveness. The one acting with you today is her, right? The Shaw Yushan you had dinner with before. I nodded and said, that's right. It is her. Chu Wanner continued. She seems quite cooperative with you. Did you prompt her to act this way? Or is she just naturally this attentive? It's really detailed to the point of being over the top. I was taken aback for a moment and replied, how could it possibly be acting? Luo Yuding really can't compare to her. At that moment, Zhang Yu looked at the cut fruit on the table. Everyone is interested in the fruit platter now. It seems like there's nothing to worry about. My gaze also fell on that fruit platter. I didn't cut it. Just then, I heard in my ear. Chu Wanner asked in confusion. Is there someone at your house? Did mom and dad come? Bow. It can't be Luo Yuding, right? I shook my head. No. The words hadn't finished yet. I was interrupted by Shaw Yushan's voice. It's me. Shaw Yushan walked over in her pajamas. Xian, I helped you wash your clothes. After saying that, I suddenly saw two people appear in the house. They should be the two good friends I mentioned earlier. Zhang Yu and Chu Wanner stared at Shaw Yushan in surprise. Zhang Yu slowly raised his finger and pointed. Shaw Yushan standing in front of them. Then she turned back to look at me. Chu Wanner suddenly laughed. Just kidding, I'll go. But she's too dedicated. I beckoned Shaw Yushan over with my hand. Shaw Yushan sat quietly beside me. Immediately, I introduced the two of them. I haven't told you yet. This is my wife, Shaw Yushan. We're not acting. During the day, I wasn't trying to provoke Luo Yuding either. Because this is all real. The expressions on their faces were nothing but shock. They didn't say anything. They just looked at Shaw Yushan with scrutinizing gazes. Zhang Yu asked a question. Is that so? Did Uncle Lu and Aunt Shen agree? I nodded in agreement. They agreed. Zhang Yu still found it hard to believe. Is it real or fake? Getting married is not a small matter. Zhang Yu had never heard me mention Shaw Yushan before. He only heard me mention her a few times recently. It probably hasn't been long. They haven't known each other for long. I looked at the two of them and said, when I was impulsive, Chu Wanner stopped me. I was clear-headed at that time. Although she had a purpose. At least she had thought it through. Zhang Yu looked at Shaw Yushan. We're not targeting you. It's just that things have developed too quickly. And at this particular moment too. Shaw Yushan chuckled and said, I can understand. Her speech and demeanor are quite good. But in the past, I would see someone. It's natural to worry about a friend's future. Then a series of questions followed. What do you do and how old are you? What does your family do? Probably the last time I was asked. After Chu Wanner understood, Zhang Yu only asked one question. Are you going to hit someone? Chu Wanner laughed out loud. Who do you think you are? It's Yuding. Sha Yushan smiled and said, if I encountered that person from noon, I might. Chu Wanner then continued to ask. Lastly, let me ask one more thing. Do you have any special treasures? Like things left to you by an ex? Sha Yushan shook her head and said no. Chu Wanner shrugged, indicating that she didn't want anything. She had a good first impression of Sha Yushan at noon. We took Zhang Yu and Chu Wanner to the door. They told us not to see them off. It's almost time. You guys should get some rest early. We should head back, too. Watching them exit the elevator. Only then did I close the door and go back. In the elevator, Chu Wanner was fuming. Luo Yuding is finished. Zhang Yu looked at her with some confusion. You seem to still sympathize with her. Chu Wanner said with a smile. There is sympathy. There is also a sense of relief. What's regrettable is how hurtful it is to end up like this. Luo Yuding liked Lu Xian. But she would reminisce about the past when holding on to old things. Of the person. This outcome is also what she deserves. Xian originally had a crush. He lowered himself. Chu Wanner continued. I suddenly remembered that saying. He became very humble. Low to the ground. A moment. The next line is not true. Chu Wanner nodded. It's quite accurate. Xian was hurt by the person he liked. I wasn't really happy inside. And Luo Yuding was that way again. In fact, Chu Wanner felt that Xian getting married so quickly to someone else was partly because of Luo Yuding. Xian is someone with strong boundaries. He was afraid that he would lower his boundaries for Luo Yuding. That's why he cut things off completely. Chu Wanner clicked her tongue. What if Luo Yuding found out? There are some guarantees. It's a hassle. Back then, Jiu Yucheng pursued his youthful love and dumped Luo Yuding. He resolutely went to another city. Luo Yuding only fussed over herself. She didn't treat anyone else that well either. Speaking of which, it's quite unfortunate that Luo Yuding was treated as a stand-in. Chu Wanner shook her head in disapproval. She suffers, yet she holds on to her pride. Although Chu Wanner and Luo Yuding are close friends, Wanner and Wu are best friends. She continued speaking. This is just a variation of the Dragon Slayer becoming the dragon. Jiu Yuchen replaced Luo Yuding. She stabbed Lu Xian in the same way. The victim bullies the person they love. It's a twisted love that is both loved and unlovable, lofty and distant. Now it has backfired. Gone. Consider it revenge. After sending them off on the other side, I explained to Sha Yushan. My friend means no harm. Shan nodded. I know. They also asked about splitting. Hearing this, I smiled. Then I looked towards the bathroom. The clothes seem to be done washing. I'll go hang them up. Sha Yushan quickly shook her head. No need, no need. I'll handle it. Sha Yushan jogged over, her cheeks slightly flushed. After all, that's her clothes. Even though we are married. But overall, it still feels quite unfamiliar. She was thinking about the scene of Lu Xian holding her underwear. I still felt a bit awkward. After hanging it up, it was already 9:30. Sha Yushan finally pushed the door open and entered the bedroom. When she came back, she found that I had already lain down. But looking at it this way, this bed is quite small. Sha Yushan also lay down. She turned off the light as well. At this moment, I asked aloud. Sha Yushan. Do you love? Have you been in love? You bring back love. If it weren't for Chu Wanner today, this topic of ex-lovers' belongings, I asked a question. It was then that I suddenly had the idea to ask. Sha Yushan spoke frankly. Once. That was during college. We didn't talk much about it. Sha Yushan paused for a moment. Sha Yushan continued. Afraid I might misunderstand, she added. My relationship with him was like that of classmates. We only held hands, nothing else happened. In the dark bedroom, a laugh spread in her ear. I didn't expect her to even mention this kind of private matter. She was sharing such things with me. I can't imagine how someone with your personality would break up. As soon as the words were spoken, Sha Yushan beside me had no response. If it weren't for Sha Yushan saying that relationship wasn't great, I would even doubt she was human. I immediately spoke up. There's no need to force it. Hearing this, Sha Yushan said, because our views differ. He hoped I would go into business with him after graduation. I didn't like it. Upon hearing this, I immediately said, just go with the flow and do what you love. Your achievements today are impressive as well. This answer made Sha Yushan feel at ease. She turned to hug me, preparing to fall asleep. After the contact from last night, Sha Yushan didn't feel awkward anymore. She fell asleep 10 minutes later. I heard a subtle breathing sound beside me. I didn't know how long had passed. I gradually lost awareness and fell asleep. I woke from my dreams. I awakened from my slumber. Beside me, Sha Yushan seemed to be having some sort of nightmare and restless. I turned on the warm-colored lamp on the bedside. Suddenly, Sha Yushan woke up from her dream, realizing I was looking at her with concern. Sha Yushan gasped for breath, using her arm to shield her eyes from the light. I held her in my arms and gently said, did you have a nightmare? Sha Yushan simply replied faintly, it was nothing. You go back to sleep first. I'll go wash my face in the bathroom. After saying that, she lifted the blanket and got out of bed. I watched her silhouette. I went to the freezer to look for a packet of green tea. I took some out, made her a cup, and brought it back to the bedroom. I handed her the glass cup. Drink this. Although I wasn't sure what it was, Sha Yushan still drank it. After finishing, she put the cup on the nearby cabinet. I looked at her and said, I used to have a lot of pressure from studying. I couldn't sleep all night. My mom got me an amazing old Chinese doctor. Sha Yushan smiled at me. I felt much better after drinking it. Thank you. Turn off the lights and lie down straight again. The next morning, I woke up. I felt that Sha Yushan's mental state was quite okay. I got up early today. It was just the breakfast I made. I looked at Sha Yushan and asked, "Is your sleep quality poor?" Sha Yushan nodded and said, "It's very poor. It might also be because I thought about some bad things from the past last night." I continued to ask, "Does this happen often?" Sha Yushan nodded. "Often. I've been to the hospital." "What good does that do?" "But in the past few days, compared to before, my sleep quality has been much better." Sha Yushan has also seen a psychologist. The psychologist finally asked her if she was married, to let her try interacting with someone. Let's see how it is to be with comfortable people. Sha Yushan hasn't been here these past 2 days. I wonder if it's because of me. But being with me does resonate with her. What I say also makes her feel at ease. I said with a serious face. Then you should drink some green tea before bed every night. I've personally tested it, and it really works. Sha Yushan replied with a smile. Then I'll finish it for you. Weren't you convinced? I shook my head and said, anyway, I won't be as stressed as I used to be now. Ever since I graduated, whenever I get too sad, it's no longer about not being able to sleep. Instead, it's about not being able to wake up. After finishing breakfast, Sha Yushan cleaned the table. Only then did she get ready to go out. She took out the trash as she went downstairs. Meanwhile, I arrived at the cafe. It was already 8:30 when I got there. The temporarily free staff looked at me. They showed a meaningful smile. "Boss, that beauty from yesterday came to look for you at noon. Still asking if you're in the store. We told her that you got married." The other clerk got all gossipy about it. "Boss, go ahead and tell us. What's going on?" After hearing that, I chuckled. What else could it be? "Next time, I'll have my wife bring you some afternoon tea." The voice of another clerk chimed in. "Sister-in-law is the best. Since that's the case, then we won't ask any further. This is out of respect for sister-in-law. Everyone thinks I married Luo Yuding. Let's not mention that beauty." I was amused by them. Let's get back to work. After saying that, I took out my phone. I saw that Zhang Bao had sent me a message. No wonder Uncle Lu could agree. It turns out Sha Yushan is a professor. She's quite well known too. Are you marrying Sha Yushan because of Luo Ting? My gaze lingered on that sentence. My fingertips tapped the letters on the screen. But I wasn't trying to provoke her. Nor was it out of spite. It's because I hope to be more proper. Originally, I liked her first but was pushed down. I'm afraid of getting stuck in it forever. Lowering my standards has taken away myself. I nodded and immediately replied. Luo Yuding isn't worth it. Just like what Chu Wanner said last night. Luo Yuding doesn't deserve it. People like that should swallow 1,000 needles. I replied to Zhang Yu. Anyway, I'm doing quite well now. I was just chatting with Zhang Yu. The staff hurried in. Smiling at me, she whispered. "Boss, there's a super beautiful lady outside looking for you." My first reaction was that Sha Yushan had come. It shouldn't be. She should be at school right now. I asked the staff with confusion. Is it that beautiful lady from before? The staff shook her head. It's not her. But she's also very pretty. She said there's business looking for you. Nodded. It's full business. It can't be that any company's employee benefits require ordering hundreds of cups of coffee. The staff pointed to the woman by the window. It's her. I walked over and asked. Hello. Is there anything you need? Sha Qing gestured to the seat opposite her. I sat down opposite her. Sha Qing glanced at me briefly before speaking. Boss Lu. I want to order some coffee for the company employees. I was sure about this now. Just as I thought. Employee benefits or afternoon tea. This boss is quite nice to come in person. There are often coffee orders for the company. But usually just 1 or 200 cups at most. I looked at her and said. Please go ahead. How many do you need? When do you need them? The woman's red lips parted slightly. 3,000 cups. I was just about to write it down on paper. Upon hearing the number she mentioned, my pen paused. I slowly looked up at the woman sitting opposite me. I put the pen down and calmly looked at her. Sha Qing raised an eyebrow. What's wrong? Boss Lu. I smiled and said. Miss, you are here for a show, right? Sha Qing replied, stunned. I'm not. From her reaction, she didn't seem like she was here for that. This is strange. This young lady is like this. 3,000 cups in one day. The machines in our shop are running. Even if they were smoking, we couldn't make that much. Even if the machines aren't smoking, the employees couldn't produce that much in a day without eating, drinking, or sleeping. Upon hearing this, the woman continued to ask, do I need to provide the machines? I stared at her in confusion for a few seconds. Hiss. Her words felt like she was joking around. But her attitude didn't seem like that. What on earth does she want to do? I mean, it's impossible to make that much in one day. If I'm just focusing on this quantity of yours, how can I do business with all these people coming and going? I asked in disbelief. You're really not joking, are you? Sha Qing tugged at her lip with a hint of a smile. So is 500 okay for today? I nodded and said. She didn't seem to be joking. The woman took out her phone and placed a payment code in front of me. Go ahead and collect the payment. I brought over the cash register. I was thinking to myself, is she a lunatic? Don't wait, scanning will show insufficient account balance. I entered the price of 500 cups, which is 15,000. If this scan is successful, then this boss is really nice. The coffee chosen for the employees is quite good. Wait a moment. Sha Qing called a halt when I reported 15,000. Full payment. For 3,000 cups. I don't know what to say anymore. Re-enter 90,000. This counts as landing a big order. Then Sha Qing stood up and said, My assistant will come to pick it up in the afternoon. After I finished recording in my notebook, I asked, 500 a day. Can it be spread over 6 days? The workload at the store every day is not small either. Additional orders have to be rushed. Sha Qing had no objections. She glanced at me and then left. I took the order to the staff. It's been busy these past few days. If it weren't for the payment made, I would really think they were looking for trouble. The staff looked a bit surprised at this amount. What a large sum. How big must the company be? I pressed the order down on the counter. This must be a corporation. Let's get started. They will come to pick it up at noon. The shop suddenly got busy. I was busy until noon when I took a break for lunch. While eating, I took out my phone to check. Sha Yushan had sent herself a message, asking if I had eaten. I replied, just started eating. It's a bit busy today. Sha Yushan seemed to be waiting for my message. I was just about to put down my phone and eat. Then I got a reply. In the evening, I went back to cook. I smiled and sent a happy emoji. After eating, I continued working. All 500 cups of coffee were ready before 4 o'clock. At 4 o'clock, a man in a suit arrived. He greeted the staff. Hello. Our boss sent me to pick up the coffee. Several staff members helped move all the coffee to his car. It's all ready. We'll help you load it into the car. The assistant looked around. Really did not understand what Sha's box meant. Came all the way here to order coffee. Moreover, she invited everyone from the group in her own name. I really don't know what she's after. Until I walked over from behind. He suddenly had a not so good idea pop into his head. Could it be because Sha has that idea? But Sha isn't that kind of person. I asked my assistant. Do we need to count them? The assistant shook his head and smiled. No need. Since the task assigned by the boss is complete. He prepared to say goodbye and leave. Suddenly, someone rushed into the coffee shop. He turned around and was silent for a few seconds. It was Luo Yuding, the general manager of Luo Group. I saw Luo Yuding and felt quite troubled. On the contrary, the staff were happily thinking that the boss's wife had arrived. Luo Yuding ignored everyone's gaze. She grabbed my hand firmly. I have something to tell you. Saying this, she took me to the back. Until we disappeared. The assistant pointed to the place we had just disappeared from. Aren't you going to see your boss? The clerk has always thought that Luo Yuding is the one I married. They suspect that we might have had a fight. So I spoke up and replied. She is our boss's wife. The assistant was even more surprised. This doesn't look like a couple at all. But it's not our place to meddle in their affairs. After saying goodbye, I left. I looked at Luo Yuding and said calmly, Luo Yuding, what do you want to say today? She frowned and looked at me, saying, can you not be so sharp when you talk to me? Why can't it be like it used to be? Every time she comes over, she hopes we can give each other a way out. Stop messing around. But I always end up saying something sharp. It ends up in a disagreement. You know I don't like to be provoked. If you keep this up, we'll only drift further apart. Luo Yuding's attitude wasn't as volatile this time. She even had a bit of a playful tone. Maybe we've been in a cold war for too long, and I'm just tired of it. I calmly looked at Luo Yuding and said, because I used to like you. Of course, you're perfect in every way. You said I was very happy when we got our marriage certificate. I even forgot about you and me. The neglect during those 2 years we were together. You give me a little sweetness, and I feel happy. I thought I could always rely on you. A love offered like charity, that's how it went. Until you hit me because of that incident. I haven't spoken such a long string of words to Luo Yuding in a long time. But I couldn't help but mock myself. Why am I telling you all this? You can't empathize with me anyway. You also don't understand what I'm saying. You would think I'm just putting on a show and messing with you. Just remember one thing then. We can't be together anymore. And don't bother me anymore. Luo Yuding stood in place with her hand tightly clenched. It's not that she doesn't understand what I'm saying. She just feels that this isn't how I should be talking to her. You childishness argues with me. Wanting to win or lose. In our relationship, it has always been me accommodating her. She naturally accepts all the good I do for her. She knew long ago that I liked her. So she feels fearless. At this moment, Luo Yuding seems a bit flustered. How could I be bothering you? We are going to get married. She can't justify what she has done. She did indeed get physical. But because she is liked by me, she thinks that I would forgive her no matter what. I stopped her from thinking that promptly. Reiterating together. After you laid hands on me, we became impossible. Luo Yuding shouted at me with a furrowed brow. Why is it impossible? How many years have you liked me since we were 8? Can you let it go? Can you see me with someone else? How could it be impossible with me? I calmly looked at her. So she knows everything. She can tell that I like her. That's why she treats me this way. My gaze landed on Luo Yuding's face. When I liked you, I was just watching you be with Ji Yucheng during those years. It turns out you already knew I liked you. So you often brought Ji Yucheng in front of me, to advise me to stop dreaming. I'm reminiscing about some fragments of the past. Luo Yuding didn't expect me to say again. Something happened to me. She eagerly reached out to hold my hand. No, I didn't mean that. I stepped back. Her hand froze in midair. I'm truly lamenting how cheap people can be. What you gain is always cheaper than what you lose. I looked at Luo Yuding's hand still frozen in the air. I thought the cup had broken. It seemed like fate wanted to eliminate the gap between us. I didn't expect it to give me a chance to wake up. The last time I wanted to hold your hand, you pushed me away. We were done when we reached that point. Liking you is too exhausting. There's someone else in your heart. Even a broken cup is more important than me. If you had brought Ji Yucheng around me less often in the past, I really thought you wouldn't be kind to anyone. Unfortunately, I've seen it. I've been disappointed in Luo Yuding for a long time. Now that I know some truths, I even feel a bit of disgust. It was my mistake to get physical. I apologize. But we cannot end this. Luo Yuding seemed a bit at a loss for words. She didn't know where to start. She has done so many wrong things, relying on my affection. Luo Yuding took a few deep breaths. This feeling is like being drowned. The last time was when I broke up with Ji Yucheng. Luo Yuding didn't want to hear me say more hurtful things. She turned around and left the store. I watched Luo Yuding leave, taking a deep breath. But after all this rambling, I forgot to tell Luo Yuding that I'm already married. I was in the window seat. Looking at the pedestrians outside, I slowly adjusted my emotions. Seeing Luo Yuding causes a lot of emotional turmoil. Today, I learned that she realized I liked her a long time ago. I have this feeling of having been hid for so long. A deep sense of disgust from having my sincerity trampled repeatedly. After sitting for a while, I said hello to the store and then left. When I got home, Sha Yushan was already back. She was cooking. Sha Yushan thought I would be back a bit later, but I returned earlier than she expected, and she seemed a bit uneasy. She leaned in close to me and asked, "Did you encounter something unhappy?" I shook my head. "It's nothing. Luo Yuding came to the store to find me in the afternoon. I just feel that my previous feelings were not worth it." After saying that, I looked up and saw Sha Yushan's charming face up close. I had completely forgotten what I wanted to say. I couldn't help but swallow. Beauty truly misleads people. After a 2-second pause, I spoke frankly. "I no longer have feelings for Luo Yuding. I want to share my feelings with you. If you don't want to hear this, I won't say this in front of you next time." Sha Yushan shook her head and took my hand, saying, "If you can say it openly to me, I won't have any doubts." Suddenly, I smelled something burning. I straightened up and asked, "What is that smell?" Sha Yushan looked towards the kitchen. "It seems to be the fish I cooked." She immediately got up and went to the kitchen. She turned off the heat and quickly opened the pot lid. The soup had dried up and the fish was burnt. We stood by the pot and exchanged a glance. I smiled wryly. Due to the burnt dish, we were busy until 6:30 before we could eat. During dinner, I mentioned, "Today, a very strange person came to place an order at the store." It made me feel for a moment that she was up to something. But she was very sincere. "That's really strange." Sha Yushan looked at me and asked, "What's strange about it?" I put down my chopsticks and said seriously. She said she wanted to order 3,000 cups of coffee, and it's for one day. I smiled and said, I said I couldn't make it. My shop is usually quite busy. Plus, with 3,000 cups, I would be overwhelmed. I jokingly said the machine would overheat. She sincerely asked me if I needed her to provide the machine. Then she lowered the requirement to 500 cups a day. I've never seen anything like this. Sha Yushan said thoughtfully and tentatively, "Which company's boss is such a great craftsman?" I recalled the appearance of that person. They were quite good looking. After saying that, I stared at Sha Yushan for a few moments. I didn't know why, but I felt they were a bit similar. Sha Yushan casually said, "Don't think too much about it. Maybe they just had a momentary lapse." I didn't expect Sha Yushan to say something like that either. Sha Yushan added some more food to my bowl. Stock matters. After Sha Yushan finished her work in the evening, she looked at the phone on the table. Remembering what I mentioned during dinner, she dialed a number. It was quickly connected on the other end. "Are you checking on Xian?" Sha Yushan's tone was calm but with a hint of annoyance. The person on the other end was not angry either. "If you don't allow me to check, how could I dare to? So I just went to take a look myself. We've already met face to face. Shouldn't we give a little gift for the meeting?" Meeting gift. That clearly causes trouble for Xian. 3,000 cups a day, can you imagine? Sha Qing chuckled briefly on the other end. "Don't mention it. I was even planning for 5,000 cups." Sha Yushan stated clearly. "Don't disturb him." Understood. After Sha Qing finished speaking, she changed the subject seriously. "Are you still unable to sleep now? How's your condition?" Sha Yushan replied. "It's been pretty good these past couple of days." "That's good then. There's one more thing. My assistant said the general manager of the Luo company visited the store this afternoon. The staff there also said that Luo Yuding is the boss's wife." "What's going on?" Sha Yushan frowned upon hearing this. "She's Xian's ex-girlfriend." Sha Qing said with a frown. "You handle it yourself, then." Sha Yushan nodded and said, "I know." After hanging up the phone, she returned to the room. She was thinking that she would need to go to the cafe tomorrow afternoon to make sure her title wasn't taken by Luo Yuding. The next day, I was busy all morning, helping at the store to make 500 cups of orders. After finishing them all, I finally took a break, waiting for someone to pick up the order. I was getting ready to leave. Just as I sat down, I suddenly saw a familiar figure appear. Sha Yushan walked in through the door. She was holding a bunch of things in her hands. It looked like desserts, chocolate, and candies. I went up to her, a bit surprised. Sha Yushan thought about doing it again without the title of a married wife once again. Luo Yuding is still referred to as the boss's wife in the store. Several staff members looked over. They were even more surprised to see it was a stunning beauty. Sha Yushan spoke up. She brought some afternoon tea on her first visit. "I hope you all like it." The staff all gathered around. "Boss. Who is this?" Sha Yushan Zhu Dongli brushed her hand against mine. I smiled and introduced her. "This is my wife. Didn't I mention to everyone last time that I got married?" Staff member Yu Qi immediately called out. "Hello, sister-in-law." Sha Yushan smiled slightly. Sha Yushan raised her lips. "Hello." Staff member Lily was also a bit excited. No wonder the boss said last time to let them see enough next time. Now they can really see enough. After introducing Sha Yushan to everyone, I shared the afternoon tea. We went to sit at the table by the window. I looked at Sha Yushan and smiled, then asked, What made you think of coming over this afternoon? At noon, after finishing the report and having no class, I came over. There was a hint of teasing in her words. Didn't you say that Sha Yushan came by yesterday? Should I not come by once? Did they have to call someone else, sister-in-law? I didn't expect her to be concerned about this. The corners of my lips couldn't help but rise. No way. I did mention it to them. Don't call her sister-in-law randomly, or the real sister-in-law will be unhappy. Sha Yushan didn't expect that I had clarified it. I was still happy in my heart. Then I spoke again. By the way, I asked my father-in-law and mother-in-law this morning. If we're free in the evening, the two families can have dinner together. I asked in confusion. How did you ask? The school is closer to my parents' house again. I went over in the morning. I also added their contact information. I was taken aback for a moment. You specifically went there in the morning? Were my parents very happy then? Seeing that Sha Yushan didn't deny it, I smiled and said again, you care too much. My parents will definitely like you. Then she propped her chin on her hand. She opened her mouth as if to mention Luo Yuding, but then she thought it might not be appropriate. Sha Yushan directly said, seeing my hesitance, just say whatever you want. Isn't that the original intention of our marriage? So I spoke up. Our families have known each other since childhood. Even though I was with Luo Yuding, she still visits our home like she used to. She doesn't really pay much attention to my parents either. Now that you are so sincere, my parents can't help but have a good impression of you. Sha Yushan teased. I should thank her for making things easier for me. I took Sha Yushan and left the store. Sha Yushan drove the car back home. Then she sat in the passenger seat. On the way, I asked back, did you make a reservation at the restaurant? Sha Yushan nodded. I made the reservation at noon. At the Wali Hotel. I couldn't help but admire Sha Yushan's attention to detail. We arrived at the entrance of a luxurious hotel at 5:30. We got out of the car. Coincidentally, I saw my parents at the entrance. Sha Yushan stood in front of them and called out, hello, Mom and Dad. My parents' smiles grew even brighter when they saw us. Then they asked, Yushan? Are your parents here? Sha Yushan nodded. They're already waiting for us in the private room. Then let's hurry over. We can't make our in-laws wait too long. I held Sha Yushan's hand and walked beside my parents. Upon entering the private room, my in-laws came to greet us. Both sets of parents exchanged greetings. The impression was quite good. Once everyone was present, the waiter politely asked, may we serve the dishes now? Upon receiving the instructions, he immediately went out to prepare the dishes. My parents spoke first. In-laws. Here, we want to apologize to you first. Our son really rushed things this time. My in-laws shook their heads apologetically instead. It was our Yushan who brought up marriage with Xian first. We should also apologize. My dad laughed a couple of times. It's a decision made by the kids themselves. Although they haven't known each other for long, we genuinely like Yushan. Once the parents started chatting, it was like opening a floodgate. Sha Yushan and I had a serious meal together. We leaned close and spoke quietly. The meal didn't finish until 8:30. Both sets of parents kept smiling. Before leaving, I said a few words to my child. Only then did it feel like it was over. Half an hour later, Sha Yushan and I returned home. Sha Yushan immediately scrolled through her friend's circle. She found that her mother-in-law had posted something. The post included a picture of our marriage certificate and details about tonight's dinner. This counts as making her public. Sha Yushan immediately found the marriage certificate. They were stacked together. She also took a photo with the marriage certificate. She also posted it on her social media with a caption, newlywed. This way, everyone should know she got married. As expected, those who saw it sent her their blessings. Sha Yushan was still immersed in the joy of reading the blessings. My phone on the table kept ringing non-stop. Sha Yushan glanced at the screen. There were no contacts, just a string of numbers. They just kept coming, one after another. The phone noise was driving me crazy. I came out after taking a shower. Hearing the phone ringing, I asked, hello? Sha Yushan shook her head and said, there's no contact, just a string of numbers. There must have been 10 calls. A name resurfaced in my mind. Sha Yushan seemed to know something. Calling crazily at this hour. Plus, the post from my father-in-law. It's hard not to suspect it's her. I picked up the phone and answered the call. Before I could say anything, I heard Luo Yufeng's sweet voice on the other end. Lu Xian. What the hell is wrong with you? Who exactly did you marry? It's only been a short while since you broke up with me. So you already found someone new? Is this what you call love? You weren't seeing someone else while with me, were you? Luo Yufeng's voice was loud. Sha Yushan was sitting beside me, listening intently. If it weren't for Sha Yushan being here, I would have already started cursing her out. I took a moment to calm myself and said, are you trying to comfort yourself by making me the villain? But you know it all. My marriage or not is none of your business. My life is already on the right track. It's the marriage based on mutual respect that I want. Luo Yuding gritted her teeth tightly. I'll say it again, we didn't break up. I said with a cold laugh. Dating doesn't have legal implications. If you have to put it that way, then I can say we were together the whole time. Luo Yuding clenched her teeth even tighter. Lu Xian, you're taking revenge on me. Tian Khan is laughing. When I liked you, you didn't pay attention. You're stuck in the past and drowning in it. You're not at all like someone in love with me. I really doubt if you saw me as someone else when we were together. Did you mistake me for Jiu Yucheng? Luo Yufeng's pupils constricted suddenly. The fingertips gripping the edge of her phone turned white. She was momentarily flustered. I continued speaking. I don't like you anymore. Any of your negative emotions are not caused by me. I don't owe you anything. After saying that, I hung up the phone. I also blocked this number while I was at it. I looked at Sha Yushan with some apology. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said these things in front of you. Sha Yushan raised her hand to hold mine. She guided me to sit beside her. Xian. In terms of relationships, her voice is very intellectual and pleasant to listen to. There's another reason I married you. I never told you. Upon hearing this, my body involuntarily tensed up and I became serious. I felt uncertain. I was afraid that the person in front of me would say something shocking. Sha Yushan sensed my body tense up. The hand that was resting on my back patted me. I shared my issues. The doctor said I have post-traumatic stress disorder. I go to see a psychologist from time to time, but it hasn't been effective. I looked at Sha Yushan's profile. I thought it was because she was having trouble sleeping and dreaming too much due to work stress. It turns out it was related to her mental health. Sha Yushan continued. My psychologist in college suggested I spend time with like-minded people. So during college, I tried dating. I didn't expect it to backfire. For all these years, I've had no interest in romance. Sha Yushan let out a soft laugh. Until I met you, a stranger by chance. Simply put, I want to live with you. I want you to sleep beside me. Although it sounds a bit off to say so, it is indeed the truth. I chuckled a couple of times. Hearing these words from Sha Yushan's mouth was truly hard to believe. Sha Yushan, fearing I might misunderstand, explained. I really want to continue living with you. The atmosphere when I'm with you is very comfortable. Many years have passed, but I still often struggle to sleep. However, my condition has been surprisingly good these last few days. I wanted to ask Sha Yushan what kind of accident she had gone through, but I felt it would be like rubbing salt in the wound. After thinking about it, I decided to let it go. Sha Yushan looked at me in silence, unsure if it was favoritism or something else. Sometimes, she would genuinely be touched by how I cared for her feelings. She took a long breath, hugged me, and said, because I was kidnapped when I was young, and there was a friend of mine. The kidnapper asked for money from the family. Both families prepared the money and quietly reported to the police. They thought that by giving the money, they could temporarily calm the kidnapper down. The kidnapper crazily executed my friend. I watched her die right in front of me. I was supposed to be next. But the police arrived, and I survived. As soon as the words were spoken, a faint sound suddenly came from outside the window. Sha Yushan suddenly gasped. I held her tightly in my arms and said softly, you shouldn't have said that. I finally understand why, when we got married. Sha Yushan said her parents would accept everything she liked. It's no wonder her parents indulged her wishes. As long as she was happy, that was enough. Everything makes sense now. Sha Yushan leaned into my embrace, as if seeking a bit of comfort. I'm not afraid to tell you. I want to spend my life with you. Once she said everything, her heart felt less constricted. I felt the softness in front of me. It made my heart itch. Sha Yushan felt a chill from the wind. She couldn't help but hunch her shoulders before straightening up. I glanced down at what was in front of Sha Yushan. Only then did Sha Yushan realize she was wearing a nightgown. And she wasn't wearing anything underneath. Just now, it had been stuck to me for so long. With 2 layers of fabric in between, Lu Xian probably felt it. No, wait. What do you mean, probably felt it? He definitely felt everything he should have felt. Sha Yushan's face flushed. She immediately let go of me and stood up. I'm going back to sleep now, she stammered. After saying that, she dashed back to the bedroom. Sha Yushan returned to the bedroom and covered herself with the blanket. She silently repeated to herself that we are married. I rested my arms on the armrest. I turned to look at the fleeing Sha Yushan. I raised an eyebrow slightly and smiled. I didn't even say anything. Why did she run away? I quickly opened a shopping app to search for Lily of the Valley mugs. The page immediately switched to the results. I opened one that had high sales. I still know a bit about Luo Yuding. She would use every means to keep me in check. She might even make me return the mug. So I wholesale ordered 20 identical ones. Anyway, they were all gifts from my ex-boyfriend. I'm also his ex-boyfriend. After doing all this, I got up. I went to wash up and sleep with Sha Yushan. On the 3rd morning, while having breakfast, I looked up at Sha Yushan. I slowly chewed the food in my mouth. I stared at her for a few seconds, seeking to ask, how about I take you to school later? Sha Yushan thought for a couple of seconds and agreed. After going out, I parked the car in front of the coffee shop. I unbuckled my seatbelt and said to Sha Yushan, wait for me. I'm going to buy a cup of coffee. While I was waiting for the coffee, Sha Yushan came over, raised her eyebrows slightly, and quietly asked, did you buy it for me? Nodded. Let's hurry up and go. We'll be late if we don't leave soon. After saying that, I pulled Sha Yushan and turned to leave the store. While fastening the seatbelt, Sha Yushan paused slightly, turned to me, and said, I didn't pay. I was amused and laughed, saying, drink as you like. As we were nearing the school, I asked, what time should I pick you up in the afternoon? Sha Yushan replied almost immediately, around 4:30. I nodded and said, if you're ready earlier, just give me a call. Sha Yushan agreed verbally. Deep down, she felt that waiting a bit was actually no problem. The car turned off and stopped. After Sha Yushan got out of the car, she looked inside the school. Leaning down from the driver's seat window, she said to me, do you want to go in and take a look with me? But, anyway, I have nothing else to do. Since Sha Yushan suggested it, I definitely wanted to check it out. Sha Yushan nodded. I smiled at her and nodded back. Immediately got out of the car. Entered the school gate together with her. Sha Yushan led me straight to the office. As soon as we arrived at the door, we heard voices from inside. Professor Sha, why are you late today? The voice abruptly stopped mid-sentence. Chin Min silently stared at Sha Yushan's man. I felt the atmosphere was a bit awkward. Back. Good morning. Chin Min came back to her senses. Jing. Sha Yushan waved her hand at Chin Min. Chin Min. A teacher from my office. The one who wanted to have dinner with you. She helped me sit down in a chair. Chin Min walked over and nudged Sha Yushan. You haven't introduced your brother-in-law to me yet. Sha Yushan replied with a smile. This is my husband, Lu Xian. Chin Min asked me. I noticed that Sha Yushan has been in much better spirits these days. Has she started to sleep better? I nodded with a smile. Yes. Chin Min frantically accused Sha Yushan. She's a complete nightmare. Not only skipping grades but also not sleeping. Just pushing herself to the limit. At just over 20, she managed to get a professor out of it. Speaking of not sleeping, I put away my smile and looked at Sha Yushan. I knew about her past. It's not that she didn't want to sleep. Sha Yushan saw the hurt in my eyes. She gently patted my hand. I noticed the time was almost up and spoke. I'll take you back. I should head back now. You all carry on. I also looked at Su Min and said, Teacher Chin, let's have a meal together sometime. Chin Min smiled and said, Sha Yushan said she wanted to see me off. But I refused her. I can go out by myself. Otherwise, you'll have to make another trip. As I was about to leave, I reached out and held Sha Yushan's wrist. Sha Yushan turned to look at me. I brought her in front of me. He leaned down and gently kissed her lips. The movement was slow, as if reluctant. Sha Yushan was taken aback for 2 seconds. Her cheeks turned slightly red as she pressed her lips together. I smiled at her and said, Well, I'm leaving. After saying that, he turned around and left. Sha Yushan leaned against the door and looked out at me. The deep affection in her eyes was about to overflow. She only withdrew her gaze after watching me disappear down the corridor. Behind her, Chin Min had a look of exasperation. Professor Sha Yushan, can you both tone it down a bit? Do you think I'm not breathing here? Knowing that such a perfectly matched couple put on such a show in front of her. Do you have any idea how much it hurts her to see such affection? Sha Yushan floated over and casually said, You didn't see anything. Today, Sha Yushan didn't expect me to kiss her. It would lift the mood in class. Chin Min could tell that Sha Yushan was very happy. When she's happy, it feels like she doesn't care about anyone else's feelings. Title. I drove back to the shop. As soon as I entered the shop, I saw Zhang Yu sitting by the window. I smiled and walked over. Just then, a delivery guy came to the door to deliver a package to the shop. After I signed for it, I took a glance. It turned out to be the cup I bought last night. Same city deliveries are indeed fast. I placed the order last night and it arrived today. Zhang Yu seemed quite happy seeing my expression and asked, What did you buy? Zhang Yu sipped his coffee, while watching me unwrap the package from across the table, until he saw what was inside. He almost sprayed his coffee everywhere. Yu grabbed a tissue to wipe his mouth. His eyes widened. Then he burst out laughing. This is a lethal killing cup. I placed 20 orchid mugs on the table. Isn't this exactly like the one Jiu Yu Chen gave to Luo Yuding? It's exactly the same cup. He picked one up and started to play with it. Knocked on the cup's wall. Observed it once again from every angle. He even thought the thickness of the cup wall was about the same. Zhang Yu said with a smile. It's exactly the same. How much is it each? I replied. $59.90 each. This one has the highest sales. There's another one that's $180 each. But I think it's really unnecessary to give it to Luo Yuding. She might break it again. Zhang Yu thought I took a long time to respond. So you send 20 of them. I smiled and nodded. This will inevitably make her ask for a refund, right? Better to be prepared. Put the cup in my hand down. Zhang Yu sighed as he lowered the cup in his hand. If she has no reason to look for you anymore, maybe she really could take the cup back as a loan. Even if back then she thought you and Jiu Yu Chen resembled each other a bit. It was clearly just a whim, yet you ended up together for 2 years. Yet it's hard to completely let go of feelings for an ex. Change the subject. Have you thought about when the wedding will be? I shook my head and said, That's not urgent for now. It was mentioned when both sets of parents had dinner the other day. But it still depends on how Sha Yushan and I feel. Zhang Yu nodded. That's true. Organizing a wedding can be quite complicated, too. Besides, I'm scared about the idea of you and Sha Yushan getting married now. I set all the cups in place and looked up at him. Scared of what? I smiled slightly. This line appears to be garbled, clarification needed. Afraid that Luo Yuding can't stand to see you with Sha Yushan. She might go crazy and cause a scene at the wedding. I think Luo Yuding could actually do something like that now. We really just broke up not long ago. Luo Yuding definitely can't stand to see me with someone else. I thought for a moment and nodded. It's hard to say. I completely forgot to consider Luo Yuding. But we haven't really thought about the wedding yet. There's no need to worry. At this moment, Zhang Yu said again. But there's really no need to worry. Luo Yuding hasn't caused any trouble for Jiu Yu Cheng either. We grew up together. Although her feelings for you and Jiu Yu Cheng are different, there is still a foundation of feelings. That phase will pass in no time. In fact, Zhang Yu wasn't sure either. After all, Luo Yuding's thoughts are as hard to find as a needle in a haystack. I nodded thoughtfully. Zhang Yu glanced at the time. I'm leaving now. I have a meeting to attend later. Doh. After I finished speaking, I looked at the mug on the table. I picked one up and held it in front of Zhang Yu. Zhang Yu found it really funny and teased me back. I really want to see what magic this cup has. After sending Zhang Yu off, I packed the cup into a box. I started today's work. I was busy until 4:30 in the afternoon. I went to pick up Sha Yushan and grabbed the car keys, heading straight to the school. I sent a message to Sha Yushan while on the road. Can I come pick you up? Sha Yushan replied almost instantly. Sure. She added. It's a bit of a hassle, By the time I arrived at the school gate, Sha Yushan was already waiting there for me. Sha Yushan walked towards me. She opened the passenger door. I felt like she had been waiting for a long time. Did I arrive late? Sha Yushan shook her head. No. I just came out too. You got here quite quickly. I only waited for about 10 minutes. When we got home, the car came to a steady stop, and I looked at Sha Yushan, who had her eyes closed beside me. I thought she had fallen asleep. Just as I was considering whether to wake her up, unexpectedly, she opened her eyes as soon as the car stopped. I looked at her and said, I thought you were asleep. Sha Yushan and I stood side by side in front of the elevator. While opening the door, she said, I'm not someone who falls asleep easily. After saying that, Sha Yushan slightly turned to the side. She leaned close to my ear and whispered softly, it's much easier to rely on you. After saying that, she let out a soft laugh. She took off her black trench coat and draped it over the sofa. She rolled up her shirt sleeves and went straight to the kitchen. After finishing dinner, I read for a while. After saying goodbye to Sha Yushan, I headed to take a shower. After showering, when I returned to the bedroom, I saw Sha Yushan standing on the balcony talking on the phone. Just as I climbed onto the bed, Sha Yushan pushed open the glass door and stepped out. I sat on the bed watching Sha Yushan as she entered. She looked up and winked at me. Her long, curled lashes fluttered. She looked quite alluring. My eyes were deep set. I was instantly captivated. Sha Yushan caught a glimpse of desire in my eyes. Just as I was about to say something, I suddenly leaned down to kiss her, propped up on one elbow. It only took a few moments for Sha Yushan to soften. Her gaze became increasingly dreamy. My hand slowly slid from the pillow to her shoulder. I gently caressed through the thin layer of fabric. My fingers involuntarily tugged at the collar's edge. Suddenly, I stopped. I withdrew my hand and also released her lips. Sha Yushan's reluctant gaze held more than just a hint of infatuation. Her eyes were still deeply entranced, looking at me. Xian. I turned over and lay down beside her. This kind of thing suddenly came to a halt. Both of us felt a bit uncomfortable. I spoke in a husky voice. I'm not taking advantage of the situation. I'm waiting for you to take the initiative. Sha Yushan still hadn't recovered from our long kiss. She lay there, soft and delicately. After a long while, she numbly replied with a simple hi. Sha Yushan's entrancing eyes still lingered in my mind. The enticing red lips were tightly pressed. I glanced at Sha Yushan. Was she dazed by the kiss? Sha Yushan was reflecting on my words. After a moment, she finally replied. It should be like this. I suddenly laughed, my voice deep and seductive. Yushan, you seem to enjoy this a lot. Sha Yushan's face immediately turned red. She curled up under the blanket, turned away from me, and said, I'm going to sleep. The next day, Sha Yushan prepared breakfast for me and left. I was still sleeping. After finishing the last order, I didn't have to go to the shop too early. I went to the shop only at 9 o'clock. Melt. Getting out of the car. Suddenly, someone yanked my wrist. I was unprepared and pushed into the backseat of a nearby car. It was Luo Yuding again. A click sounded by my ear again. The car door was slammed shut. Luo Yuding sat beside me, still maintaining that cold demeanor. I looked at her, somewhat speechless. Luo Yuding leaned closer to me. Why are you treating me like this? Luo Yuding couldn't understand. I liked her so much. Although we didn't meet every day, she would occasionally come to find me when she had free time. I would talk to her about many things, even though she hardly listened. But at least I was happy to cling to her. The man in front of me overlapped with the man in my memories. She couldn't help but place her hands on my shoulders. Xian, you're not like this. You shouldn't look at me with that expression. When Luo Yuding rested her hand on my shoulder, I angrily shrugged her off. Don't touch me. Xian, why do you have this expression? I pulled on the car door a few more times. There was no response. Luo Yuding reached out to touch my face. Just as her hand was about to land on my face, I said sarcastically, do you still want to hit me? Luo Yuding's hand suddenly froze. I looked at her angrily. Luo Yuding, this is my last act of tolerance towards you. Open the door quickly. Don't force me to do anything to you. Luo Yuding's eyes were red, and her voice began to tremble. Xian, it's my fault. I know I was wrong. Please don't leave me, okay? Luo Yuding had been waiting for me here since early morning. She regretted and was heartbroken. Upon hearing this, I maintained a calm expression. Luo Yuding, who are you pretending for here? I won't accept any form of apology from you. I also hope you won't appear in front of me. This city is so big. If you pay a little attention, we won't run into each other. We can very well become strangers. You just want me to bow down first. Before, I was the one who always gave in to her in our relationship. But it wasn't about giving in. Xian, can you give me a chance? I will make it up to you. I can't accept you being with someone else. After saying that, Luo Yuding moved closer to me again. I pushed her away with my hand. Luo Yuding was a bit crazy at this moment. You broke my cup. The cup is already shattered. I don't want you to compensate for anything. Let's forget everything that happened. Let's go back to how it was before. I pushed her hard and shouted in anger. Get away. Luo Yuding was pushed by me and was forced to let go. Suddenly, the car window was being knocked on repeatedly. My gaze fell on the car window. My mom was knocking on the car window. Luo Ting, open the car door. My dad also didn't expect Luo Yuding could actually do something like this. In the past, he wouldn't even dare to think about it. Considering the elders, Luo Yuding opened the car door. I immediately got out of the car. Luo Yuding got out of the car and stood in front of my parents. She apologized to them. Uncle Lu, Aunt Shen. I'm sorry. Luo will come to apologize more than once. But my dad refused to see her. I didn't expect them to meet under these circumstances. My mom is furious. You didn't apologize to Xian when it happened. Only after the incident did you start to panic. Luo Yuding. When we first learned about your breakup, I never thought it was your fault at all. I've always blamed Xian. But I never expected you would pull something like this on us. What did you do? A child I've watched grow up for so many years. A future daughter-in-law I was satisfied with. Turns out she's this kind of person. I squeezed my mother's hand. Luo Yuding felt powerless and had no words to refute. She could only listen quietly. My dad was also angry but maintained a neutral attitude. Yuding, you don't need our forgiveness. Mom and Dad already apologized long ago. Xian has also married and is getting his life back on track. Don't disturb him anymore. When it comes to my marriage, the tone changed. Yuding's voice became heavy. Uncle Lu and Aunt Shen. Do you know Xia Yushan well? How long has she known Xian? Do they understand each other? Are you really at ease with Xian being with him? Luo Yuding really can't understand. Why would my parents let me marry someone I haven't known for long? My mom looked at Luo Yuding angrily and said, we know you inside and out. And what's the result? You've known Xian for 26 years. You've spent 26 years. You're a prime example of a negative lesson. A few words left Luo Yuding speechless. My mom continued. I never thought there would be a day like this. Not to mention your attitude towards us elders. We don't care. As long as you're good with Xian. But the reality is the exact opposite of what we thought. You ignore Xian at every turn. Before, we were understanding towards you. We even comforted Xian. The idea was for him to treat you like a sister and take care of you. Looking back now, if it weren't for your frequent coldness towards Xian, he wouldn't complain to us either. The more we count them, the more heartbroken we feel. My dad sighed. It's nothing. Our Yushan is doing well. I almost laughed out loud. My dad's way of speaking is a bit strange. All this time, after thinking about it, my mom isn't as angry anymore. Luo Yuding manages her expressions very well. Her eyes were just a bit red. In the end, I couldn't take it anymore and was about to leave. Before leaving, she slightly bent down and said, I'm sorry. After saying that, she quickly got into the car. A teardrop glimmered as it rolled down her cheek. I saw a hint of sadness on my parents' faces. Actually, they aren't just angry at Luo Yuding. They watched her grow up since childhood. Later, they regarded her as a future daughter-in-law. Emotions are indeed complicated. They can be both lovable and frustrating, yet regrettable. I reassured them. Mom and Dad, don't be sad anymore. I changed the subject. Mom and Dad, what are you doing here? My mom looked at me and said, I'm off today. I came out with Dad to buy some things. Just passing by to check on you. Who would have thought I'd see Luo Yuding right upon arrival? After saying that, the three of them found a spot to sit. Her parents aren't used to drinking coffee, so they brewed 2 cups of tea instead. My dad asked a question. Did Luo Yuding try to contact you before too? I nodded. Yes, she did. But she just said some meaningless things. My mom hummed in agreement. I don't know what she's thinking. I couldn't see her before. Now she's showing up quite often. They sat for a while longer. After giving me a few reminders, my parents left. When I turned around to go back to the store, I found the staff was looking at me. I couldn't help but raise my eyebrows. Just now, outside with Luo Yuding, he probably heard what we were saying. Boss, I wasn't eavesdropping on purpose. It's just that Luo Yuding is too eye-catching. She was standing outside for a while, just watching. I didn't expect to hear anything. Just mixing it all together roughly. I knew something had happened. I waved my hand. It's not really that important. The clerk, Lily, said angrily. I didn't expect Luo Yuding to be this kind of person. I smiled and my gaze fell on the mugs in the display window. Oh, today, Luo Yuding brought up the mugs again. Then I have to return these mugs to her. Can you help me pack up these mugs? I'll take them with me later. Lily brought over a box. She packed them all inside. I asked a question. Do you want one? Without a moment's thought, Lily shook her head. No. I took one out to take a closer look. Luo Yuding has used this mug for several years. I placed the mug I was holding on top. I took out my phone to message Chu Wanner. Wanner, I have something I want to return to Luo Yuding. Could you help me deliver it? Chu Wanner got excited when she saw the message. Are you in the store? I happen to be looking for Luo Yuding to have lunch at noon. I replied instantly. I'm in the store. I was actually planning to bring it over. Chu Wanner arrived at the store in less than half an hour. After she entered, she sat across from me and scrutinized me carefully. She immediately drew a conclusion. Luo Yuding came to look for you this morning. I looked at her and slowly nodded. She pulled me into the car and closed the door, like she was losing her mind. Chu Wanner frowned slightly. She didn't do anything excessive, did she? I waved my hand and said, my parents are here. I saw them. Chu Wanner immediately laughed. She knows that Luo Yuding has always wanted to apologize to Uncle Lu and Aunt Shen, but she just doesn't want to see her. Meeting in such a situation today, it definitely won't be a pleasant encounter. I took out that Lily of the Valley mug from the side and placed it on the table. Chu Wanner looked at me in slight astonishment. You put it together. Chu Wanner doesn't know what the cup looks like broken. I suddenly took out something that looks exactly the same. It's hard not to think that I put this together. I shook my head. What are we putting together? It's all shattered like that. Of course, I bought it. $60 each. Chu Wanner laughed even louder. She clapped her hands and gave a thumbs up. Amazing. I'll bring this cup to her at noon. Chu Wanner paused and smiled at me. But I think she might smash it. Hearing this, I moved a box from the ground onto the table. If she wants to smash it, let her smash it. Chu Wanner curiously opened the lid of the box. Couldn't help but widen my eyes. Are you doing wholesale? I chuckled. Give her 19 to smash slowly. Anyway, I've returned her things. Next time, don't mention the cup. Chu Wanner looked at these cups, thinking about such a worthless thing. Is it really worth it to hurt your childhood sweetheart? Why 19? I explained. There were originally 20. Zhang Yu took one. So there are only 19 left. I noticed Chu Wanner's eyes light up for a moment. Do you want one? I'll give you one. Chu Wanner choked a bit. But Zhang Yu already took one. I'll take one. She smiled. Let Luo Yuding slowly destroy the remaining 18. I picked up the box and got ready to return it. I'll help you into the car. Then I followed Chu Wanner out the door. Chu Wanner got into the car, rolled down the window, and looked at me with a low laugh. I'll scold her a bit when we meet later. Chu Wanner got in the car. She came over to Luo Yuding's side. Chu Wanner immediately started venting to Luo Yuding. What are you ranting about this time? You keep showing up in front of Xian to seek attention. That couple is doing well, so stop meddling. Originally, Chu Wanner scolded her. She didn't show much emotional fluctuation, until Chu Wanner said that last sentence. She couldn't hold back and smashed her wine glass. What kind of couple are they anyway? Why are you bringing this up? Chu Wanner raised an eyebrow. Thankfully, Luo Yuding reserved the private room in advance. Otherwise, we'd be treated like a monkey in a circus. Chu Wanner took another glass. She poured some wine and placed it in front of Luo Yuding. If I were Lu Xian, I think you were quite unreliable. Who knows when you might do something outrageous? It's only human nature. Let's just consider this matter settled. Moreover, Jiu Yucheng insisted on leaving back then. Didn't you also force him to stay? Luo Yuding was silent for quite a while before answering. They are not the same. When it comes to Lu Xian, Luo Yuding's eyes held a faint sadness. Jiu Yuchen is just a passerby. But I have known Xian for so many years. But he wants to let go. Is it wrong for me to try to keep him? Chu Wanner didn't want to hear Luo Yuding's furious outburst anymore. She directly took a cup out of the box. Xian asked me to bring it to you. Luo Yuding was clearly taken aback upon seeing the cup. Chu Wanner laughed and said, he said this is a replacement cup for you. It's exactly the same. He is also your ex-boyfriend. This cup was also given to you by an ex-boyfriend. As long as you don't overthink it. It's the one you used to have. Just as her words fell, the mug was smashed to the ground. It made a piercing sound as it shattered. Luo Yuding got up with a serious face, ready to leave. She was going to confront Lu Xian directly. Chu Wanner bent down and moved the whole box of mugs onto the table. He knew you would smash it. Come on. There are still 17 left. Luo Yuding's eyes were fixed on the mugs in that box. She had never hated this style of mug so much. Meanwhile, Sha Yushan had another meeting this afternoon. It was already past 6 when she left school. She quickened her pace, got in the car, and fastened her seatbelt. Before starting the car, she took out her phone and sent me a message. The meeting ran a bit late today. I might be a bit late coming back. If you're hungry, eat first, don't wait for me. I replied to the message. Are you there now? Sha Yushan typed a few letters on the keyboard with her fingertips. I replied with, then I'll wait for you to come back. Sha Yushan looked at the screen, and the corners of her lips couldn't help but curve up slightly. Okay. She had just finished replying. The phone prompted that it would automatically shut down in 30 seconds. She put down the phone. She started the car and headed home. However, she didn't expect to encounter an unwelcome guest downstairs as she returned home. Someone was blocking her way home to have dinner with Xian. For example, this Luo Yuding in front of me. This counts as their first time meeting alone. Luo Yuding didn't expect to run into her downstairs. To encounter my officially licensed wife. She had never regarded her highly. I think her name is Sha Yushan. Yet she still felt jealousy upon seeing her. There was a deep discomfort in her heart. Luo Yuding stopped in her tracks. She exuded a cold aura that seemed to say, stay away. Oh, she really does look like a proper lady. Sha Yushan couldn't be bothered to pay her any mind. She didn't want to talk to someone so lacking in class. Yet here she was, standing right in front of her. Sha Yushan tried to bypass Luo Yuding, but was blocked by Luo Yuding again. Only then did Sha Yushan coldly glance at her. In the past, Sha Yushan had never felt that way. What was there to be concerned about when rivals meet? Luo Yuding had never thought that one day. It will be because Lu Xian is facing off against his rival. She knows that no matter who is standing across from her, Xian will definitely protect Sha Yushan. But when Luo Yuding thinks about how soon Sha Yushan will enter Xian's house, she instantly loses her composure. She spreads it out. Sha Yushan gives her a glare. That should be something I say to you. This is my home. What kind of logic is this? For the host to be kicked out? It should be her who leaves. Luo Yuding's voice becomes even colder and more piercing. You can't really think that Xian likes you, can you? Luo Yuding sneered. Her eyes were filled with mockery. Do you know how many years he has liked me? Do you really think he can forget me? The one who was loved in youthful crushes, in the end, will always have a place in the heart. That place will always be mine. Don't think you can be so arrogant just because you have a marriage certificate. I can make you two get divorced right now. Sha Yushan's silence seemed to fuel her excitement. Luo Yuding's words became increasingly outrageous. When we were together, he used to follow me around every day. The way he looked at me was always filled with affection. He would take the initiative to hold my hand. He loved to be close to me, and he would even kiss me. As she spoke, Luo Yuding paused for 2 seconds. She didn't like Lu Xian kissing her. She would never reciprocate. So it only happened a couple of times. Perhaps Xian knew she didn't like it. So he never did that again afterwards. Now Luo Yuding regrets it. What was she thinking back then? Luo Yuding took a moment to compose herself, wearing that mocking expression again. Do you really think Xian would accept you? or do you want to hear something else? Sha Yushan looked at her calmly and spoke. So why do you want to hurt Xian? Sha Yushan did not consider herself a magnanimous person. Moreover, it's about this kind of matter. But this cannot be blamed on Xian. It's just that she encountered the wrong person. Sha Yushan has experienced it too. Being hurt by someone she liked. Now Xian is married to her. He is living well. As an ex who has hurt her, she should just disappear as if she were dead. But unexpectedly, Luo Yuding wants Xian, when he should forget her and live well. Using evidence of having liked her to attack her. Trying to make Xian's life a mess again. Luo Yuthing's expression darkened. Just that one sentence completely broke Luo Yuthing's defenses. Sha Yushan. What the hell are you? Do you believe I can ruin your reputation? She heard that Sha Yushan is a university professor. It's not difficult for her to deal with someone like that. Sha Yushan stood still, not paying any attention to her words. She was still thinking that Xian has now woken up. Looking back, the people I liked were like this. Is it that sometimes you feel really sad? Sha Yushan glanced at her lightly. Lu Xian might feel sad for having liked you. After saying that, Sha Yushan turned and left through the door. Luo Yuding was filled with rage by what Sha Yushan said. But seeing that Sha Yushan didn't go home, she was momentarily stunned. Let's just assume she was intimidated by her own words. That last remark was just to anger her before leaving. Thinking this, Luo Yuding wasn't so angry anymore. A light mocking voice. Coward. When Sha Yushan was going out. Just then, Chu Wanner and Zhang Yu's car had just stopped. They saw Sha Yushan walking to the left. They rushed over because they were afraid Luo Yuding would cause trouble. Chu Wanner frowned. Did Luo Yuding get into a fight with her? Zhang Yu watched as Sha Yushan disappeared down the street to the left. Where is she going? Could she be upset by Luo Yuding? Zhang Yu recalled how Sha Yushan looked. After thinking for a moment, he said, she wouldn't be empty-handed, right? And even if she got upset, how could she run away from home without a car? Chu Wanner let out a laugh. It seems we were overthinking it. Although she didn't know Sha Yushan well, the way Sha Yushan looked at Lu Xian seemed to reflect, I need you. She thought Sha Yushan and Xian were quite compatible. They definitely resonate well together. But she also felt that Sha Yushan wasn't exactly an innocent person. She wasn't even a bit delicate. Just based on this, one could conclude that Sha Yushan could not be upset by Luo Yuding. I sent Sha Yushan a message but got no reply. I glanced at the time again. She should have been home by now. I walked to the balcony and stood by the window to look outside. I want to see when Sha Yushan will be back. Suddenly, I saw her right downstairs. It was Sha Yushan heading out towards the entrance of the neighborhood. And there was Luo Yuding standing at the bottom of the building. I suddenly felt a chill all over my body. Luo Yuding wouldn't go after Sha Yushan, would she? The answer is definitely yes. Thinking of this, I didn't even change my shoes. I pressed the elevator button and went downstairs directly. I jogged out of the elevator. I ran into Luo Yuding, who was just about to go up the stairs at the entrance. When she saw me, Luo Yuding called out, Xian. I restrained myself from making a move and asked her in a low voice. What did you just say to Sha Yushan? Luo Yuding suddenly relaxed and let out a laugh. What do I have to say to her? What do you think I could say to her? I continued to ask. Then why did she leave? Luo Yuding shrugged, looking a bit innocent. Maybe she's too sensitive. Cowardly, huh? Luo Yuding thought about the words she had exchanged with Sha Yushan. The way Sha Yushan stood silently across from her. Suddenly, Luo Yuding felt her mood lift. So what if she's married? She and Xian have known each other since childhood. What does Sha Yushan even count for? What is she, anyway? Luo Yuding wasn't angry. She didn't mind Luo Jian's. She even explained to me why they say Sha Yushan has a fragile heart. It was just that I had said a few things earlier, sharing stories from our past with her, and she just ran away. What else could it be but cowardice? I moved my lips, my voice slightly hoarse, and calmly asked, what did you say to her? Luo Ting waved her hand. Just said how much you used to like me. How you would take my hand and share funny stories that happened. There would always be a place for me in your heart. I asked her how much of your affection she could get. The next second, a loud slap echoed. A sharp slap resounded. A single slap forced her to stop talking. When Luo Yuding said these words, my mind went completely blank with a buzz. I felt my blood freeze all over. My patience with Luo Yuding has reached its limit now. Luo Yuding tilted her head from the blow. Her messy hair covered her face. There was a few seconds of dead silence between us. You hit me for a woman. Luo Yuding felt a sharp pain in her heart. He actually laid hands on himself. And it was for a woman. I glared at her in anger. That is the person closest to me. She is my rightful lover. Luo Yuding ran her fingers through her hair, her eyes reddening. What about me? You hit me for her. Don't I feel pain? I asked softly with a laugh. You know pain too, huh? When you hit me over a cup, how could you bring yourself to do it? Luo Yuding was bitten back by her own actions. Her heart felt like it was being painfully squeezed by an invisible hand. The pain was so intense that she couldn't catch her breath. It was stronger than ever before. I brushed past her. I have to find Sha Yushan. I turned and ran towards the exit. Chu Wanner and Zhang Yu stood there watching for a while. They pointed me in the right direction when they saw me coming. Sha Yushan went down the street to the left. Zhang Yu was a bit worried about me. He could only sigh silently and didn't follow. Chu Wanner asked him with a smile. Yu shook his head. He should calm down on his own. The smile on Chu Wanner's face grew wider. I was planning to pull you along. But you didn't give me that chance. Zhang Yu nodded towards Luo Yuding's direction. Go see her. The two walked towards Luo Yuding. Under the streetlight, her pale face was flushed. Both of them saw it. It was after being hit by Lu Xian. This time, neither of them said anything discouraging. Zhang Yu said, "Let's take Yuding home." Chu Wan'er saw Luo Yuding standing frozen in place. Might as well take her home. She didn't say anything to upset Yuding on the way. If it's not suitable, then it's just not suitable. It fits. If it's over, then it's over. Today's outcome was actually caused by Yuding herself. Luo Yuding seemed to be breathless. She leaned against the car window in silence. The entire journey was filled with dead silence. I called Xia Yushan several times. Her phone was still turned off. I walked for a long time without seeing anyone. The shops on that street were brightly lit. It looked warm. But I felt uneasy inside. Xia Yushan has never been a weak person in my heart. She is gentle yet strong. But anyone who hears Luo Yuding's words would feel uncomfortable. Perhaps Xia Yushan can't stand those words. She might even dislike me. But right now, I just want to see her. Even if Xia Yushan wants to bring up separation or divorce, it doesn't matter anymore. We were destined to meet halfway. I shouldn't let the trouble I caused annoy him. I was always meant to be alone. She is already very grateful for having gone through her low points. Suddenly, there was a thunderous sound in the sky. Droplets of rain began to fall. It's raining. I need to quickly find Xia Yushan. I realized that the coffee shop is quite close from here. So I jogged over to get 2 umbrellas. On the other side, in the cake shop, Xia Yushan picked up a piece of cake in her hand. It was the same piece that Lu Xian had shared with her in the cafe. Xia Yushan found it very delicious. Xian should also really like to eat. So she specifically came to buy a piece. Now Xia Yushan is standing there in a daze. She reaches out her hand to catch a few drops of rain. If she gets caught in the rain, the cake might get wet. Xia Yushan said this and turned to enter the cake shop. She wants to ask the manager to wrap up the cake. And also to ask if she can borrow an umbrella. After Zhang Yu and Chu Wan'er dropped off Luo Yuding, they were driving back on the road. Suddenly, a few drops of water fell on the windshield. At first, they thought it was from the trees. I don't want to think about it, but a few drops fell again. Zhang Yu reached his hand out of the window to look at Chu Wan'er. It seems like it's starting to rain. Chu Wan'er remembered Xian going to find Xia Yushan. She couldn't help but sigh. The weather isn't cooperating. Zhang Bao turned on the windshield wipers. Wasn't it supposed to be dry today? The weather forecast didn't say there would be rain today. It's really strange. Chu Wan'er directly said, "What, this isn't rain? This is Luo Yuding's tears." Zhang Yu laughed out loud. "Having a friend like you, Luo Yuding really is impressive. It seems Lu Xian didn't take an umbrella when he left just now. Let's send an umbrella to him now." Chu Wan'er nodded in agreement. The window faced the dark, gloomy sky. There was always a bad feeling in my heart. After pondering for a moment, I finally spoke up. "I want to go back and check on Luo Yuding, so she doesn't do something stupid later." Zhang Yu's expression subtly changed, and he quickly nodded. He turned the car around and drove back in the direction he had just come from. After Luo Yuding dazedly opened the door, her whole body slid down against the wall. She slumped down onto the floor. Her long hands hugged her knees. She buried her head deeply in the crook of her arm. It felt like her heart had been pierced with a huge hole. Blood continued to flow out. A heavy sense of loss surged up. Suddenly, another clap of thunder echoed. Luo Yuding tightened her grip on her knees. Her delicate body trembled rapidly. In a daze, she recalled the scenes from her childhood when she was afraid of thunder. Besides her own parents, only Lu Xian would hold her in his arms. He reached out to stroke her hair in comfort. "Don't be afraid, I'm here. I'm here with you." Luo Yuding's body gradually calmed down. She hid her head deep in the boy's embrace. A soft voice echoed, "Don't leave me. I don't want to." Luo Yuding kept repeating this phrase. Lu Xian looked at her and said gently, "I won't go anywhere. I will only stay here with you. Xian will never leave me." Luo Yuding murmured softly. I reached up to scratch my messy hair. I stood up, feeling somewhat embarrassed. The image of Xia Yushan appeared in my mind. That woman who claims to be Xian's wife. She's really something. Luo Yuding shouted until her voice broke. It's all that person's fault. Otherwise, Xian would have been back long ago. Her pale fingers clutched her phone as she made a call. The call connected quickly. Luo Yuding's voice was chillingly cold. "It's a disgrace to flatter. Her surname is Xia, a young female professor at Zhongshan University. Right now. I'll take care of it immediately." She then put down the phone. She looked down at the spot where the cup had shattered. Luo Yuding's cheeks still felt a dull ache. But her heart hurt even more. As if someone was pulling on it forcefully. Did Xian feel this much pain back then too? I really hate myself. I regret it so much. Luo Yuding muttered repeatedly, looking down. Endless regret filled her heart. She stiffly approached the sofa cabinet. She took out a bottle of sleeping pills that had already been opened. Recently, she relied either on alcohol at night, or she could only numb herself with this bottle of sleeping pills. Luo Yuding glanced at the medicine in her hand. The whole bottle contained 30 pills. She had already taken 3 before. She tilted her head back and poured the remaining pills into her mouth. Then she poured a glass of water and swallowed it all down. Her body collapsed onto the ground. Tears streamed down her pale cheeks. Luo Yuding weakly took out her phone and unlocked the screen. The smile on her face seemed to have a touch of beauty. On the other side of the street, I had just given Zhang Yu the address. Suddenly, my phone popped up a text message. It was from a number on my blacklist. There was only one line of text. "Goodbye. But I miss you very much." I calmly glanced at it before turning off the screen. I recalled that Luo Yuding had let go. It's a kind of release. This is fine too. "Lu Xian, haven't you found it yet? Do you want me to help you look for it?" I looked up in response to the sound. I saw Zhang Bao running over with an umbrella. I looked around and replied, "Where's Wanner? Did you take her back?" "She went to Lu Ting's place. But you were helping even more. Xia Yushan's call is still unanswered." I shook my head and sighed. Even with her personality, she'll probably be angry this time too. I looked around and said, "Wanner and I both feel that way. Miss Xia might be so fragile. So fragile. Miss Xia might not be that fragile. Think about it. Where could she be right now?" Upon hearing this, I began to ponder. However, the two haven't known each other for long. Where could Xia Yushan have gone? Suddenly, Zhang Yu's phone rang. He glanced at it and then clicked to answer. On the other end, Chu Wanner's anxious voice came through. "Come closer.